Yo, 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 Big Herc 916, getting down, positivity, motivation. You know how we do it over here, never settle for average. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. It's been a week since I was able to post because YouTube did a strike on my channel. You know, I'm always kicking game, you guys. So they, I don't know, man. They can pick and choose, man, and, try to do what they do. But I'm going to keep coming back with real game. I got the homie with me, Big Moke. If you see my Vice documentary, he was in a documentary with me. Childhood friend, knows me like the back of his hand. We grew up together. And I want to get into some topics and get his opinion on them and get you guys to comment on some of this stuff and tell me what you think. So, we were just going to talk about cars, but I think that we have some other stuff that we should talk about with you guys that is of deep concern. So Moke, this is, I'm pulling it up right now. It was a Sweet 16 party, right, in Alabama. And I don't know if you heard about it, but basically it was a Sweet 16 party, and there was a bunch of people there, and they had a DJ. So the DJ was playing music, and I guess the speaker fell. And now the speaker, when it fell, it sounds like gunshots. It hit the ground, boom. And what happened was when the speaker fell, a bunch of the kids in there, they all pulled up their shirts. They all had guns. So what happened following that, they said over 80 something bullets rang out. 32 people were injured, 4 people dead at the Sweet 16 party.
Wow.
What's your take on that, man? It said they arrested the 15-year-old who was not being named, and then I guess they arrested like 4 other people. They believe like 4 or 5 other people. All the suspects are being held in Tallahassee County Jail, with no bond except for the 15-year-old. And it says right here, a 6th person was taken into custody following the mass shooting. And I've yet to hear any celebrities, any athletes, anybody black speak out against this, man. And I guess the suspects are ranging in from 17 or 15 to 20 years old. A Sweet 16 party, Moke. Did you hear about this story?
I heard a little bit about it, but it's a sad situation no matter how you go about it.
What are they doing with guns at the Sweet 16? It's a party, man, with people celebrating.
Well, somebody should somebody knows that neighborhood. Somebody knows those people. Somebody knows their community, that they should have had the right protection there. If they needed to be scanned in, metal detector, whatever. There's no way I'm going to have that type of party and just let anybody come in there, without them being searched. Now, if it was people that I knew had sense and wasn't carrying guns, then yeah, that's something different. But I did a security job at a house party. And the only reason I did is because my son was going to be there, and I knew that the house where they was going to be at. So I volunteered to do security, period. And yeah, it was people that had guns on them. And I told them, leave it right here. You'll get it back when you leave the party. But the scary part about it is they literally came with that. Then there was no security. There was no adults. There was nobody there that if this fool pulled out his gun up in his house party, he's now in control because it was kids. But that's where stuff is at nowadays. I don't know about where this was. Is it like like Chicago? We know everybody pretty much packing out there.
This is in Alabama, man. It was at this girl's party, and so yeah, a lot of these people were there. I guess I don't know if they all knew who the person was having a party, but
anytime you have a party, especially a house party, anything like that, people gonna get wind of it, and they gonna want to come But what's sad about it is a lot of people come with attitude, with anger, with mad. They come there looking for trouble, looking for trouble. You know, you can tell the way a person talks sometimes that he got a strap on him.
Well, you got a young, and you got a young son, so you know about, you know, you're around some of these younger kids, and, you know, compared to when we were growing up, I mean, we used to do some stupid shit too, but how do you think you reverse the cycle, man? Because literally, it's like people are looking at a lot of these kids, and it's like you wonder, now, if it would have been something where it was a white person involved, this would have been straight racism. But because it was black on black, and the fact that, you know, we have to, you know, we talk about policing our own, what can we do to change these young men's viewpoint on life to where, you know, it's not that serious to go to a party and want to kill everybody, man? I mean, it makes no sense. You're on mute.
Going to take, it starts from within, but they set that in motion to destroy our families from within. You see what I'm saying? Once those boys reach a certain age, there ain't nothing mama could do with them. You know, you need a male figure that could do something with them. That's just the bottom line. That's why you have a man and a woman. The woman is a nurturer. The man is he's the discipline.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, you just muted again.
You know, women now with their kids, and especially with their boys, they don't discipline them because they still trying to be mama and be this. And I'm telling them every time, you're going to, if you love your child, discipline your child. But the connection is not there. See, because their nurturing is different. A father, I can love my son and I can get in his ass too.
Yeah.
You know, that's still loving him because I don't want him out here acting no type of way. Not only that, I'm trying to save his life. Whether he shooting at somebody, they shoot and kill him, or whether, you know, you get into something that's going to ruin your life, a young pregnancy, doing a crime. I'm trying to save him, so I discipline him. Where you see a lot of mothers in the homes, they're not disciplining that boy. And then he reaches to a point to where he's not about to be disciplined.
Now, among your son's friends and the young people you see out there, how many fathers do you see involved in these young men's life?
Okay. I know one kid's dad. No, I take that too. I know two of the kids' dads. So I know what type of men they are. So I know they're getting talked to. But you know, the majority of them, I'm probably the dad. Because when the events and everything that I throw, you know, they come with my son. And so they're always together. And, you know what I'm saying, I don't never see their father figure with them, or that their father figures are doing anything where my kids go and hang out with them at their house. You know what I'm saying? So I do it. I do it just because, and then, you know, I'd be glad that they come. And pretty much that's who I really kind of function with, is these kids now they're young men now. Now they're young men, but I talk to them all the time when they go out about where they going, what they doing. And a lot of conversation I get from them, they like, we far from that. So I'm thankful. I'm thankful for that these kids know or been raised enough to stay out of the riffraff where they got to pack a gun and this and that. You know, they just had a friend that had the big shooting downtown in Sacramento. And they knew them people, but they knew that that's how they was living. And then they ended up having a big shootout. Thank God they weren't around at the time, but they knew those people, but they didn't run with them.
You know, and going back to like the father in the household and how they started with that Lyndon B. Johnson, his whole push for that that welfare program. And they also, you know, they hijacked, you know, a lot of these black civil rights guys and had them get behind that, acting like they were helping out black people, and it destroyed our community, man. Literally, going back into, if you look at 100 years, we had more Black males, father figures in the household than we do today. And that's sad when they talk about, you're talking about, going back 100 years and you're looking at racism, and yet we had more fathers, more successful Black families. We had the education. I mean, dude, we went backwards, man. In the last 20 years, it seems like we've actually regressed. And they talk about, we've had a Black president, all this. Dude, all it's done is create more dependency, especially with enabling the welfare programs, and greater destruction in the communities, really across the board. It's almost like they tried to convince people by us giving you these things, we're helping you, but it's all it's doing, really enabling the further demise of these family structures, man. I mean, the young women, the young pregnancies, and the fact that, they're thinking it's cute when you got 4 or 5 different baby daddies, man. I mean, come on, man.
Well, they got 4 or 5 different baby daddies because, I mean, there's no structure. Then they were quickly to incarcerate us for less than what they incarcerated white people for. Again, that removed us from the neighborhood. That removed us from, if we had a kid out there, saying, okay, you got welfare keeping them out the house, then you got them being incarcerated. So it starts to be slim pick, but not just slim pickings, but there's no structure there. The structure is getting taken away. You constantly getting pulled to where now, look at this right here. You got the blind leading the blind. So if there's no father figure in the house, you going out in the neighborhood, you hanging with your homeboys, you hanging with, what I'm saying? They don't have no father figure. So who's guiding them? So now y'all guiding yourselves into whatever, and then you're young and you're in this adolescence, and that mentality, that dumb, silly adolescent mentality is running amok. And now you on a destructive path. Who's going to take you off of that path? You got to, we have to, I don't know, bro. Seriously, I don't know. I don't have an answer for it. The answer I do have for it is what they're trying to do to us already. Extinct us all.
Yeah. No, you're exactly right, man. And it's sad because a lot of these kids, young men, I don't like calling them kids, these young men, they don't really get this type of game that we're talking about until they get to a pen, and they in the pen with some dude who's been down since he was 19, 20. Now he's in his 40s or 50s. He's a grandfather, and he's telling them things that they should have learned on the street.
They're only going to get that if they gravitate to him.
Yeah.
Other than that, he's going right over here to the knuckleheads that he's been dealing with on the streets. But now I also don't want to say that. See, they show us the hideous stuff, and they show us the poverty. But then what about the ones that are making it? What about the ones that do have the structure? What's that number like? Is that number higher than the few that don't have the structure? So I don't want to speak on it where it makes our whole nationality seem like it's doomed, because I don't believe that.
No, that's a great point, because the media is like, we shine a light on, like we just talked about the Alabama mass shooting, right? But what about the kid who was valedictorian? What about the girl who graduated at 13 and became a doctor at 16 and, is super smart? The young Black woman I've seen, one of the youngest to ever graduate and go to medical, med school. So
what about the one that just discovered how to cure cancer with the
I've seen that with the
like some type of genetic code, or
she found something where through some type of energy she can kill the virus within the cell or something.
Within the cell, woman. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I've seen
that should be national news, because cancer is killing everybody. But
you're right.
Again, we got to watch out for her, because they don't want nobody to discover cancer.
Well, it's no different than the brother in Buffalo who was off-duty police officer. And remember,
At the grocery store?
dude, the dude came, they said the kid was racist, but the day before, he came up to that same place and dude was off work. He talked to a black guy for over an hour, left, and then came back Saturday when the dude was working, and then killed all these people, but they really wanted to get him. Remember the guy with the motor that ran off of water?
That ran off of water, exactly. And it's funny how all these significant people that can give contributions to the world end up dead. That makes no sense. It's almost blatantly that they do it and kill these people off and just make it seem like it's nothing, you know. But
how do you think we go about, you know, because I'm always trying to talk about being a non-victim and Black excellence. And, you know, I point out things because I want people to see like, dude, we got to change. And we do have people, like you said, Black millionaires, entrepreneurs, people who own their own businesses. You know, how do we get to a point where we're highlighting those who haven't been in trouble, those who haven't been to the pen, and giving them their accolades rather than, you know, always talking about these, you know, guys who, quote unquote, they consider gangsters?
I'm going to tell you exactly. We have to have our own national platform. We don't have our own national platform. These people are being honored, but it's being honored and it's hushed and it stays where they're being honored at. These other national platforms that we don't own, they put us on blast. They put us on blast. We have to have our own national platform. You know, BET, for example, when it was owned by Bob Johnson.
Yep.
One thing that BET had was Black news. As soon as it was sold, that's the first thing they took away was the Black news.
Yeah.
You look around right now, there is no news that deals with just us. The Hispanics, Telemundo, they got their channel.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So everybody got, you know what I'm saying? We have to have our own national so that we can see what we doing together nationally. They don't want that. They don't want that.
One of the things we used to read when we were growing up, I'm gonna see if you can guess. You remember, I used to read my grandparents, and it was always these successful Black people, and it was
you talk about Black Enterprise.
No, okay, even going before that,
a magazine,
Jet.
Oh yeah,
Ebony.
Jet magazine
And
Jet, Ebony. Yeah,
they're gone. Remember those magazines, you would look through there, see the beauty of the week.
Yeah,
you know,
Centerfold.
Yeah, Centerfold, and then you would see these different like Black caucuses or the first Black jockey, this Black guy who owned this bank, or you've seen all this Black excellence, and it made you feel like a sense of like accomplishment. Because I know growing up in my household, I didn't really have a father figure, but you know, my grandfather around, but I was always thinking like, how could I take myself to the next level? And you know, having a male figure around is one thing, but having the conversations, like the conversations being you have sometimes, where it's almost like we're thirsty for some type of interaction. It's like, dude, I don't want to talk about like, you know, who shot Tupac or what Death Row is doing. I want to talk about some stuff, man, that's going to really expand on how we can build something. Like I was just watching something the other day where Daz was kicking game, even though he was on death row, but he was talking about all this business stuff. And that's the type of stuff I think we need to have more of. And there's not enough of that. I mean, there's 19 Keys on YouTube and there's Earn Your Leisure, and they have a lot of Black excellence on their platforms. But like you said, I think we need to focus more on that. And it's going to be almost like a separation, like you said. We talked about it before, where you're going to have Blacks over here who are just destructive, and you got Blacks over here who are doing things, because you can't mix the two, man.
You see, me and you, we yearned for it. We were talking about businesses. Nobody told us nothing. We had an inner power movement going on in ourselves that we wanted more. We looked for more. We looked to do different things, but we were looking to do things, not realizing that they were constructive things. You know what I'm saying? Even though we was hustling and going through that phase too, but our mindsets was always looking to do something different, to do something greater, to do something better. That mindset is not there now. Or that it's, and let me not say that. I don't want to keep putting that negativity just on what we seen with them showing the negativity in the midst of those people or that group. It's not there. It's not there, you know. Then no telling what element they're living in because they feel they got to pack a gun. You know, I always say, Mike, if you got to take a gun, you going to the wrong place. You don't even need to go there and chance it. But I just think we had that yearning, you know what I'm saying, without any father figures. You know, but I think during our time of growing up, we were still closer to somebody saying something to us, whether it was Coach Harris, whether it was your grandfather, you know what I'm saying, whether, you know what I'm saying, it was something, you know, so yeah. I don't know, bro. I think
you're right about that, and kind of like sharing that insight and being able to just open up more dialogue, because this is one thing, like, you know, they want to depict us as savages, like we're incapable of getting along together unless there's a violent situation. And on the really big scale of things, if we, you know, wouldn't trip off of, you know, this guy's a GD or Vice Lord, this guy's a Blood or Crip, or this guy's from this part of California, he's from Oakland, he's from Frisco, or he's from LA. I mean, dude, we would be so strong. I always said, man, imagine these guys who have made all this money hustling, and they're so smart. They had this inner almost calling. If we flipped that and we weren't tripping off each other like we do in those circles, dude, just think about the shit they can take over. Because before all that, there were multiple Black Wall Streets. There was Oklahoma. They had them in certain parts of you know, Louisiana. They had communities where, you know, Blacks had everything they needed: their own department stores, grocery stores, banks, real estate. They had all that, man, and there was no animosity. But once they created this confusion, and now, you know, we have each other kind of looking at each other some kind of way.
Well, they put crabs in the bucket. They put crabs in the bucket and then strip the neighborhood, strip the area of money. So now when you strip that area where you grow up at and you looking around and everybody is scrambling and scrounging or whatever, it brings the fangs out.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So they stripped it. The resources are gone. When the resources is there, everybody's not tripping too much. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're right.
All at the neighborhood basketball court, but we know shit, after we get done playing basketball, there's a nice warm meal in a household that we could go to. What the hell we look like outside fighting and tripping for? I'm headed to the house where mom's, dad, their food, you know what I'm saying? But when your lights is off and you going home and there's nothing there, you ain't going home. You ready to stay in the streets and shit, get your money and do whatever else you got to do, but you ain't going home. So it's by design that these areas have been put like this and done like this, you know. And it's sad because the only way, you know, those areas or those people can be fixed is not just going in there talking to them, but you got to have a step-by-step play that they can do A, B, and C and start pulling themselves out. That talk is cheap.
Yeah, you're right.
I don't want nobody talking to me and empowering me and telling me I could do it. And then soon as the meeting over, I don't know which way to go.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. Oh, you could do whatever you want to do. You could do it. Yeah, you're right. I can do it. How the hell I get started?
Yeah. I think like you said about the empowerment, it comes with the resources and the programs. You know, they talk all this. It's like almost like when BLM was talking about all this Black stuff. But how many auto body, how many HVAC, how many skilled trades have they put in the communities? We need those trades. People don't realize, you know, people say college, but to me, that builds long-term wealth. If your dad was a welder, you took over his welding business, and then your son took over the welding or plumbing. Dude, you're talking about generational wealth. An auto body shop. You paint, your son paint, they do. I mean, we got to learn to build, like you said, in our communities, something we can pass down.
But they took that. That was the whole get down. They took that. They took wood shop. They took metal shop. They took auto shop that were at schools.
Yeah.
They took that stuff out. You took that stuff out so a person can't codepend on himself or teach him some type of stuff that he can do. They took that stuff out so that you can go back and now get a job and work for the next person. You know, there's no future in that.
No.
As high is where they allow you to go. You're never going to own it. You're never going to be the CEO of it. So, you know, those things have to come back. But we, the people, have to get into this government and stop those people from feeding on us and feed us. They didn't switch it around. They didn't switch it around to where they doing and writing laws and all type of stuff against us when they supposed to be doing work for us. So once the people wake up, because, you know, I know they say it's white and black or whatever, but really it's everywhere.
It's economics. Everywhere. I mean, we grew up in Highlands. I mean,
the white person may not get pulled over as much as the black person, but they're going to get it too. Well,
you and I, you and I know, because we grew up in a pretty diverse neighborhood, and shit, Mexican, white, everybody was a nigga. Everybody getting it the same way.
Right.
You know, but you know, it does that skill set, man. You know, I think about that all the time. And when I meet people now that have gotten to a certain point where college, man, most of these guys who are going there is only for formality. They already got a family business. The college is just a paper to tell your uncle, you know, hey, uncle, I got that paperwork, but you have an uncle who's in a real estate or this and that. So we're, you know, this is like wealth is built over generations. And, you know, they throw us a false bag, have us, you know, thinking we're getting some money because we're making a rap song talking about killing each other. And it's a cold bamboozle, bro. It's not even a real bag because most of these rappers aren't living to even spend the bag.
Yeah, but see, you only have a few. You only have a few that takes the money and do something else with it. A lot of them don't have financial literacy, so they're not a threat. You can give them the bag. Here, take the bag. You're not going to do nothing with it or anything like that. Or the people that got the bag, they're being blackballed and say, don't go over here and help these people. Don't go over here and empower these people. Don't go over here and do nothing constructive for these people. Don't go do none of that. You see what I'm saying? Why don't you see what they call it philanthropy? When people go out and do stuff in the communities and put, you know what I'm saying? You don't see that no more. You don't see nobody building those skate parks. You don't see nobody, you know what I'm saying, going to go redo the housing projects. You don't see that because now they're kind of like being banned from doing it. Okay, y'all, how much money do a person actually need? Really? You know, you a superstar or whatever. How much money do you actually need? Where you can't go redo this neighborhood or something, you know? So it's just, it's a lot of evil in the whole situation.
I think that's a better, like you said, a better allocation of resources and these people coming together to go into these communities to give kids hope. One of the things that saved me was when I moved out of Highlands and I went to Southern California for a little while and I came back, even though I got back into the shit, I had been exposed to some stuff that to me was unreal. Just how some people were living, how they never really, most of these kids have never been in a fight. They didn't even know how to put their fist up. I mean, it's crazy. I'm like, how are you never been in a fight? You never had to, you know, worry about, you know, how to, you know, get a job in high school because you already, you know, all you had to do is go to school and college and get good grades. I mean, it's like that was unheard of, man. And so
But that goes back to what I was saying. The funding was there. The money was there. Why do I want to fight? And I got this nice house and my bedroom.
Yep.
The funding was there.
Yeah.
You take these fundings away from these people where, you know what I'm saying, it's not pretty in the neighborhood. The grass is not cut. You know what I'm saying? That it does something to your mental and everything.
You're right. You're right.
It's fight or flight.
Yeah. To
that point, like, fuck, I ain't got no food in this house. You know what I'm saying? That's the difference. That is the difference.
You know what? That's deep, bro. What you just said, I never even looked. When you talk about like how we be walking home and we're like, you're going home, but you're like always thinking about like money and surviving.
Yes.
You have to learn how to be. You have to become an animal to make it in those environments.
That's what happens. You're not an animal. You just come in. You're going to your survival instincts. We all have it. We all have it. Take that same person who never been in a fight, bring them to the neighborhood. See their demeanor a year or so from there. See how they talking then. No, real shit. Real shit, you know. We go in the store, run out the store with a gang of Zuzus and Wham Whams. What, for the hell of it?
Yeah.
No, we about to eat that.
Yeah. Now, do you think now when you see these young people doing that, like you said, looting these stores and doing it, are they doing it because they're trying to feed themselves, or are they doing it because it's the thing to do?
Well, again, you have that testosterone, you have that what do we call it, where we was bold to do some stuff then, but now we won't do it now. You know, and it's young-minded stuff, you know what I'm saying? Now we think, then we weren't thinking, you know what I'm saying? So, and we was doing clothes runs, I needed clothes.
Yeah. I mean, we were like you said, we were doing it and really wearing that shit. It wasn't like we were sitting around playing video games and bullshitting all day. We were actually trying to get it.
Now, the crazy thing that I did say, which I knew, come back again to money, when we started hustling and I had money, I was like, I'm not going to double jeopardy myself to steal. I did wrong to get the money. I'm hustling to get the money. Now I'm going to go in the store and steal too? No. I hustle to get the money. Now I'm buying my stuff.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't think it may be fun in the midst of motherfuckers ramming through and grabbing shit and, running out stores, whatever. But I'm going to say probably like 70%, 80%, they needed it.
I just think like when I see like the kids in Sephora, Walmart, just eating stuff off the shelf. I mean, come on, man. I mean, some of that stuff I think was bad. They're doing it to be cute because they're filming themselves. We were never doing nothing for any type of like, watch me do it. We were doing it really. We didn't want nobody even know we were doing it.
Right.
We weren't putting it out there like coming back to school. I'm like, damn, you got the troop jacket. I knew you somehow got it, but you weren't bragging that you were stealing it, So it was a different mentality. I know it's a lot of ignorancy, you know what I'm saying, with a lot of stuff that we see because they're not taught, they haven't been taught anything. They don't know nothing, you know what I'm saying? Because if they did, they wouldn't film it. Yeah. I'm up in the store eating stuff out the bag like I'm a savage. You know what I'm saying? Am I really that hungry? So if you're not really that hungry, you're just being ignorant and you being destructive. Now, do you think that they're creating this false narrative that in order to have this, equality by them, like lowering certain, standards, is creating a false sense of reality for a lot of minorities? Because in my opinion, like it's almost like they're saying, oh, we're going to take out trigonometry because it's too hard in some of these schools, and we want these kids to be able to go into these universities. And in my mind, why not teach them, but work with them to bring their scores up rather than making them feel like they're equal when they're not? Because when they get to the real world is going to tell them like, look, man, somebody lied to you when you thought you were getting an A, you're really a C student.
Well, yeah, that comes back to money. if the students aren't passing, then their funding don't go. So they're trying to figure out a way to make their fundings look good, to make it look like they're doing something with these kids and that they're making it, and it's not. But then it goes back to that neighborhood. If there's no money in that neighborhood, there's no funding, these kids are not focused. They're not focused when they come to class. You know what I'm saying? The teachers aren't focused if they're not getting paid. You know, it's a disruption when the kids look, ain't got no shoes, smelling like piss. You know, eventually that kid gonna be mad. He gonna become anger. Yeah, now he's gonna be a distraction in the class, right along with maybe 2, 3 other kids, which they're gonna fall into that category because they feel safe. That ain't nobody messing with them. So you know what I'm saying? It's
no, you know what? You made a great point, because there was a principal in Chicago, and he started a program because some of these kids had no clean clothes, and he actually got donated a bunch of washers and dryers and laundry detergent, and he was letting kids come and wash their clothes so they had clean clothes. And he also would keep the gym open after school so these kids didn't have to go home and be in the projects all night until their mother came home or daddy came home. And these kids, through that program, the clean clothes, being able to hang out in the gymnasium and do programs, art and different things, these kids' test scores went up. They felt better about themselves.
You damn right. You feel I'm not gonna raise my hand if I'm dirty or musty or whatever. They got to have clean clothes 5 days a week for school. Clean socks and drawers, teeth brush. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna feel good. You know, I don't want no teacher by me, my breath stink, or, you know what I'm saying, I don't smell good. You know, it has to start with pumping money back into the community that will shit. If mom and dad can sit down with the kids after school, you know, but then there you go to having a 2-parent household again. Yeah, okay. Yeah. If this one is working, this one can do with the kids, or vice versa. Okay, you work the morning shift, I work the night shift, whatever. But somebody's gonna have a break versus it being the mama. She got to go to work, come home, help the kids with the schoolwork, wash their clothes, make sure they got clean. It's a lot, bro. Yeah. It's a lot. Yeah. So it needs to start back there. You know what I'm saying? The funding needs to start back there. Fuck it. Like the one lady said, as far as reparations, Black people don't need to pay taxes for nothing ever again. Where we need some real alleviation. I'm saying that right? Yeah. You know.
Well, it's almost like you said, you need that. You need the foot off your neck for a minute, man, to breathe. Cause we really know you really never had any real breathing room. And if you can breathe and we can regroup, we got to regroup, man. We got to regroup with the family structure, and everything goes right back to what you said. If you got 2 parents, somebody get a break. You know, somebody while you know, I'm at work, you work with the kids, or you're at work, I work with the kids, check their homework. You know, I make sure they got clean clothes. I could pack their little bag of lunch. You know, you need that, man. I mean, being able to have
just think that's on one person. And an 8-hour shift, I always tell people, ain't an 8-hour shift. It's a 10-hour shift.
No, you're right.
You got to get up and get dressed and get there. That's an hour. You get off work, clock out, get in your car, come home. That's another hour, at least 35, 40 minutes. But a complete hour, by the time you get there and relax and now you're ready to do something else, but that's 10 hours out the day. Then you're supposed to get 8 hours of sleep. So you got 10 hours at work, 8 hours of sleep, that's 18 hours. You got 6 hours left to wash the kids' clothes, talk to the kids, homework, yourself, all of that, all in the last 6 hours. No. And then on top of that, money funny, you know.
And then you're saying most likely there's more than one kid.
Of course.
So you got one kid, he going through that, you said, that adolescent phase where, you know, hormones, and he trying to fit in and, you know, being teased at school, and he's stressed out. The younger kid looking up to the older kid, trying to figure out, like, you know, he don't want to go through the same thing, but he's feeling it. And then the youngest one is just totally lost. So it's a cycle, man. And everything you said goes right back to having two parents in the house. We got to get back to that, man. I mean, you know, and I you know, what really one of the cores is people don't want to say it, but having some type of faith in God or some type of, you know, backing to where that's what made the union. Because once you destroy the union, where, oh, I don't believe in any of that stuff, man, blah, blah, blah. So now it doesn't matter if you have a wife or whatever or not, because you're having a kid out of wedlock and it's just whatever. So we got to get back to some union or something that says like, you know what, before I decide to have a kid, I'm gonna wait or do something a little bit smarter so I don't bring him into the situation that's a drama-filled situation.
But see, who is there with that sense of understanding when everything around them doesn't say anything like that? Then mama or daddy is gone, and you know what I'm saying, the girl, the boy, they left to their own hormones and sexual feelings or whatever. Who's guiding them on that? You know what I'm saying? So boom, the process keeps going. The process keeps going. Nah, you think they don't want that for their kids? They don't. I mean, even for a boy, a young boy, what are you gonna do with a kid?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's mental on you. So it's sad, bro. It's sad. It's sad, man. Like, you know, where do you start at? Where can you start at? Where can you implant something and grow it to flourish to these situations?
I think the only thing that as far as creating this change is going to be exposure. You know, luckily, I mean, I've made my share of mistakes, but being exposed to certain things kind of gave me a sense of where I want to go in the future. So I kind of make more calculated, but it took me all these years, man. I mean, I sit back sometimes, I wish I'm like, damn, man, what if when I was in Highlands, I would have stuck to skateboarding or kept doing the clothing line or had somebody pushing me to be like, you know, hey man, you can do this and do that, you know, and not want to be in the streets. I just think about like, what could somebody have said? But the thing is, I didn't have any, it all goes back to my mom was there, but like you said, she was, man, working 2 jobs and she had maybe 3 hours to get with us, you know, to do something. It's going back to having that male role model father figure that was like, look, man, you know, and he had to have had the skill set to be like, look, we're going to do a business. You're going to do this, or you can go over here and study this, or being around somebody else who had a business who could have showed me. And until you can get around that type of exposure, it's hard, man, because you don't know what to do, man. I mean, literally.
You don't. I used to say the same thing. I wish my daddy was there. I tell him, like, I wish somebody would have just gave me a little guidance, because I already knew I was willing to listen. I knew I was willing to listen. I had the right and wrong. The wrong, I didn't have no problem with that. But I didn't know how to go about it, where to go about it. I need somebody just push me just a little bit, and I'd have took off. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to be a PO. Do you remember when, I don't know if I showed you, but I wrote Nike? I wrote Nike. I looked on the side of the box and wrote them and drew some shoes to try to get a shoe deal before anybody was doing shoe deals. Right. I'm tripping up the night we sat in your Mustang and came up with Fidu. And they came up with
Fubu.
But we had Fidu for everyday use before, you know what I'm saying? That's what we was thinking about. Me and you, we thought about that sitting in the car in that Mustang and over there on Stephen Drive in front of where Sharon was staying at. Yeah. We had ideas. We thought of ideas back then.
You know, it's so hard when, like you said, we had this inner drive, but no guidance. No guidance, man. We had a little bit. No guidance. We could have ran with something, man.
Yeah, no guidance. But I you know, I don't complain about where we at. We're definitely, you know what I'm saying, ahead of a lot who actually had guidance.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. So, but we're still here trying to do the best that we can do in this lifetime and constantly trying to see where we could help some people and continue to invent and flourish ourselves.
Now, a younger version of you, what do you think you could have told a young Moke? You know what I mean? I mean, me and you both run in the streets, and I kind of looked up to your crew because you guys were older, and I'm like, what could somebody have really, based on how you were living and how you were getting it, and how like you had that mindset. What do you think would have changed you? Would have taken you moving all the way to another place and really challenging your comfort zone, or could somebody in that same environment have changed you? Because I don't even know if I would have stayed in SAC, if it could have changed me without me having gone and lived in a suburbia around all these other people, and to get that exposure to kind of give me a perspective.
No, I think we were at where we were at for a reason. Like I say, only thing we needed to do was do it. Well, all we needed to do was exercise and put pen to paper and put work to it and stick to what we were talking about doing. All those ideas that we talked about doing would have took us far and beyond. It didn't matter where we was, because look where we were. We weren't really like in no projects or anything like that.
No.
What I'm saying? But I'm saying our mentality was there to do greater things. So I would have told myself, Moke, do it and don't stop. Keep doing it. Stay on the path of doing something that you can serve to the public versus serving to the small crack community we was doing. I'd have switched that. Or I'd have made sure that money that I was making, I'd have further put it behind the ideas that we had, because the ideas that we had were not ideas of further destruction. It was ideas of, reaching the masses, and we would have reached it. Because look at all these people that came behind us that started their little stuff and took off. We'd have been already there, and then internet and this and that would have came, it would have further launched us, because we would have for sure had one or two businesses under our belt. So it'd have been easy for us to duplicate that when other ideas, and we'd have more believed in our ideas and pushed them further. But again, we was where we was at, and maybe, I don't know, you said you went to and seen these other areas that may have inspired, that had inspired you even more. I don't know, because I didn't see those other areas. I just know, as I'm older now, that I still think the same way as far as doing things and accomplish things and open up businesses and like that. So, and now that I'm older, I see that is the way. So if we would have did it, I think we'd have got the confirmation that would have further empowered us to keep doing what we're doing.
Have you ever had a mentor that's really given you some boss game, that's helped you take what you've learned to the next level? I know for myself, I haven't really had a major mentor. I had, someone in the penitentiary, an older brother, like kind of like opened my mind up on a level where I thought beyond what I've been thinking of, because I really was, even though I've been exposed, I was still kind of not seeing the bigger picture. But I think that's a big thing. And so I would like to get your opinion of that, as far as, having a mentor, because everybody I've seen, all the millionaires, billionaires I've talked to in real life, they've all had mentors, people who have taken them under their wing, because you can read books and all this stuff, but when somebody mentors you at a level where they're kind of giving you things that are life experiences that they've experienced, to kind of put it in perspective, it shifts your whole paradigm. So, I mean, have you had anybody that's really mentored you?
I hate to say that I got it out of prison as well, but it was a guy, we call him Mr. Oliver, AKA the teacher. But what he gave me was like the running program behind Windows. He gave me the understanding of how it all works, credit, finances, different things, and looking at things differently, to where now my computer, my processor has changed. So I process things differently because I have the foundation. So I do have to say I did get that to further strengthen what I already feel in myself. But that was far as, I don't know if that was mentoring or if that was just teaching. He gave me a lot of good teachings, you know what I'm saying, which I shared with you when I came home, you know what I'm saying? So I look at things different. And his what he have taught me has been a strict fundamental, and I haven't seen it waver or fall off yet. It's exactly how it's run. And when you know that's how it's ran, then you know how to process it. Like, let me see, a mortgage, for example, and it has interest. Well, we made a mortgage payment of $1,000 a month, and then looked to seeing that only $68 out of that $1,000 was going to the principal. Now, to the average person, they may not know what to do with that. But because of what I learned from him, I look at things differently and be like, no, you don't play the game that way. So the things that he taught me just taught me how to play the game differently, where we winning, you know. So I would say that's the closest thing to a mentor that I had. I just started talking to this one guy who opened up some businesses. He's the dad of one of my friends. And I was tripping out because somebody that's close to him doesn't really realize the jewels that he can drop on you, or how close you are to this person. And I'm like, that's the shit I be looking for. Mm-hmm. To get up under somebody that had already did it, you know. But at the same time, I want to say, even if that person is not there, I still feel that we been through life enough to where we can do it.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. I feel like, you know, we've been set on a path to learn certain things and accomplish certain goals. I just think that I know, like you said, getting underneath somebody who's been there, done that, it kind of opens up different doors where you didn't, you know, you were doing it one way and this person showed you this, you're like, damn, I never even thought of that. But because of like these, you know, it's almost like back in the day where they used to have these old, we call them, you know, they call them OGs, but you know, the guys you would see these business people very successful, and they would be kind of like, hey, young, so let me holler at you, and they putting you up on some real game, and they've accomplished a certain level of success, but they've taken a lot of the pitfalls and hits, so you don't have to. And that's why you think they have these country clubs where they don't let certain people in, or these certain memberships or these certain get-togethers, because they're talking about shit that is not privy to everybody, because they don't want everybody to know this game, because they want to make it seem like what they're doing is so complex. A lot of these people we see with success, which appear to be success, dude, they're no smarter than us. It's just that somebody told them something.
On that part right there, I would say that's totally different than, you know, somebody taking you up under your wing and teaching you something, versus those type of clubs like that. Those people, only thing they doing is they're not really taking each other up under their wings. They just, hey, I got a plug, you got a plug. I got a plug, you got a plug. You know what I'm saying? Like you say, they don't know no better. They didn't do this from ground zero. They just kept it within their circle. Yeah. That, you know what I'm saying? That's a difference, you know, versus somebody pulling you and giving you some game and teach you how to bubble up. These dudes already have it. And they're just exchanging information. They're not really, you know, taking nobody under their wing. They just in a group, you know.
Do you feel like there's an outlet for us for those too? Because like you said, it's like basically you're right. They're just sharing plugs, and you got a plug for this, and it's like basically connecting the dots. You're just connecting the dots.
Yeah, if I got a hookup, I'm gonna tell my friend Bob, who I golf with. You know, hey Bob, I got this deal over here. That's how that's going. You know what I'm saying? We're talking about, or at least, you know, I'm saying somebody that can teach you a skill and show you how to exercise that skill and how to get in there. And you know what I'm saying? It's almost the same thing. Because if I have a business and there's a door opening and I say, yo, Marcus, boom, I got this hookup for you, you know, and then when you get in here, go left, go right, go right, go left.
Where would you tell a youngster to go and look for this type of mentoring? Somebody who can pull them up, because like you said, we don't have a lot of these kids, the father figure. So what would be the easiest way for them? I know sometimes you can get a good coach, you know, if you're basketball, but if you're not into athletics, where would you say would be the best place for some of these young people to try to find this guy who will give them some real game, man, and not, you know, get them off the street?
I would tell them, find out what they actually want to do, what they're passionate about. And then knock on doors of people that's in that circle. I know my uncle told me, he said, if you're the smartest person in your circle's too small. You're not going to learn nothing. So you got to go seek and find, you know, and on the way, you're going to pick up pieces of information about that field where you're going. You know, somebody may say, hey, okay, yeah, I'm over here and did this, but, you know, don't do that one. I already did that one. You know, I don't think they may get it from one person. I think they may get it on their journey, but they got to be yearning and wanting it for it, because I noticed this, giving people stuff sometimes is not appreciative. You know what I'm saying? Letting them work towards it, they appreciate it more. You know, I stopped doing 90% or 100%. I tell a person, you got to do 85, 90%. I do the 10, maybe the 15, because it didn't show me over and over and over again that they don't appreciate it. So maybe that's why it's hard to just get up under somebody, because you might need to show yourself for yourself, you know, take yourself through some things if you really want it.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right. And I always tell people, man, sometimes you're being tested and you don't know it. I always, you know, if you have a meeting with somebody or somebody gives you an opportunity, show up early. Get there ahead of time. You know, if you're meeting somebody and you happen to know, like, this person enjoys a certain type of cigar or whatever, be courteous, man, and show your appreciation. These things make a big difference when you're trying to make an impression. A lot of people don't know how to make an impression. And I tell dudes all the time, you know, I'm like, dude, I came all the way out here and you live not even 30 minutes away and you're an hour and a half late. How did that? Come on, man. I mean, these are little things. And when you do that one time, people make mental notes and it's like you failed that test.
Yeah, but that's why I say, that's why a lot of stuff ain't just given. You got to earn some of that, you know what I'm saying? And then those people that, you know, don't show up on time, you know what to do with them. You know, they're not for real. So that's not somebody you would put in your circle. You know, that's not somebody.
As far as now, when you look to do business with somebody, or you know, you looked, I mean, because you know, you're very selective now on who you put in your circle. What are some of the key things you look for before you decide to really get involved with somebody in any type of business or just relationship in general?
I look at what they already got. I look at what they're already doing, and then I look at their conversation, because their conversation is going to flow about what they're doing. If it don't flow, then they just saying what needs to be said. You know, if they conversation don't flow, so it should be easy. Like if we go talk about cars, that's easy for us. It's gonna flow nonstop, and I'm gonna be right there with you. Yep, that part. I'm gonna be right there with you. Understand everything. When first of all, like I say, I'm gonna look and see if they doing it, if they having it. If they're not doing it, they're not having it. It's just like certain people at our age right now. If you not at a certain level in life, immediately I know there's a hang up there, and I ain't got time for it. I ain't got time for it because that hang up is going to become your hang up. You know, I was just dealing with somebody and I damn near gave them I did give them everything. I gave them everything. And they came with a hang up. And immediately I took everything back. I swear to God. I swear to God. Because we too old. We too old at this level for you not to be at a certain level. Then you going down the road because I can't deal with that. I can't let you bring me up short because you not where I expect you to be at. So yeah, I'm going to deal with people that, you know what I'm saying? Dude, if I got a hookup for you, you know what I'm saying? I need you to take the hookup, you know, and whatever little bit that I'm asking for, I need that to be there. And because I give a lot, you know what I'm saying? I give a lot. So, you know, it may be a car that's worth $5,000. Man, give me $2,200. You can't do that. Then I ain't got nothing against you, but I got to deal with people on this level.
Yeah. Yeah. So basically, a lot more selective in the people you allow in, and recognizing right away if somebody is with the bullshit.
Yeah. I need people to do what I could do. If I'm the only one in the circle blessing everybody, then my shit gonna run dry.
Yeah. No, I feel the same way. Sometimes it's like I tell my wife, I'm like, you know, it'd be nice for somebody to sit down and bless me with something. Everybody calls me with, ask me for get Big Herc. I see you doing YouTube. Oh man, I see you started close. Oh man, like, dude, do you always call me just to pull game? Give me something. Call me with, hey man, you know what, Herc? I know you're doing this. I got this for you. Instead of always draining it's like they get there, they try to poke a little hole and drain your little shit all the way out.
There you go. That's it right there. So I noticed that I run by myself a lot, and I ain't got no problem with that.
Yeah.
I've got no problem with that.
I feel like that too. Sometimes I'm like, man, you know, I gotta come up with every answer. Give me something.
Right,
You know, I'm like, can you contribute something? You know?
Exactly. And you know what? But then, you know what I'm saying? You eliminate that so you still have room. So one, you ain't being drained and yours is being depleted because they're constantly taking. You eliminate that.
Yeah.
And you stay on your path so that you could bring in people or meet people that have something to give. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's the only way. Other than that, was stay treading water.
Yeah.
I don't need no ankle weights. You know, let me just tread my water. I'm over here treading water.
Yeah.
And, you know, my water look a little good, but nigga, I don't need you to come take none out of mine. Yeah. You know, now I'm treading. I can show you how to tread because you thinking, but you can even show them how to tread and they won't even take it, bro. No, I don't want to tread. Give it to me, Moke.
Yeah.
Yeah. Give it to me. I swear to God, this shit tripped me out. Man, I tell you when we off.
Yeah. No, I feel you, man. You know, I come to the same conclusion sometimes, and I think about like everything and all the people. Like I'm always. Sometimes I'm like, damn, man, I just gave that person. I broke down their whole thing. It's like they don't even appreciate it. It's like they like, oh, you know, her just keep getting. I'm like, you know what? I'm over it. Now, at this point, like I got to keep my energy because it's like it takes me another week to build back up where I was at, and you done drained all. So I'm not gonna even give it out no more. You know what I mean? Unless if I'm with you, I don't feel like that. But a lot of times I get off the phone or get off conversation with people. I'm like, damn, dude, was that an hour of some bullshit?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So you gotta be more selective. And you know, I want to take up all your day, man, but I appreciate you getting on, man. We always chop it up. And I think like some of our conversations to be able to share with some of these young people, man, to see who I converse with and how we help each other. It more of this needs to be shared among our young men, our Black community, and just in general, man. because
Yeah,
I don't have a lot of people I can call and talk to, bro. I'll tell you, sometimes I sit here and I look at my phone and I'm about to call somebody. I'm like, nah.
Just put it down. Just put it down. I told you when I came to LA and seeing you, it was just like somebody just took the corkscrew out my brain and just threw it out. Because you understood what I was talking about. You know, I couldn't talk to nobody around here, man. On the way home, man, I just felt like my brain had just let a load go, you know, and I was able to come on the way home, I was able to come up with other ideas once I released all of that, you know what I'm saying? But you're right. You know, it'd be like that sometimes. It was one quote before I let you go, and the man said, before you have a conversation with this person, ask yourself, are they capable of understanding and being on the level that you need? Because if they don't do it. Yeah. Just don't do it. It was something to that degree, but that's what he was saying. Making sure that the person you're conversating with, y'all could dialogue.
It's almost like saying where rather than engaging in frivolous conversation, engage in no conversation at all.
Exactly. It's a waste of time. You're right.
Waste of time. Yeah.
Time and energy. I'd be like, man, don't gas the situation. I've bumped into some people that be gassing the situation. This one guy, woe is me. And I'm giving him answers. And I noticed he'd go to another problem. Like he act like he didn't even, like we didn't start over here and go to another problem. And I said, you know what? I said, don't call me unless you got solutions. I deal with solutions. I don't deal with problems every day. Yeah. And I ain't never talked to that dude again. But he got my point though.
No, that makes perfect sense. Like you said, you trying to show him, here's some water. Oh, I'm not that. But what about this? You're like, dude, I'm trying to give you some water right here.
He was thirsty.
Yeah.
Now he ain't thirsty. Now he on to another problem. So you really wasn't thirsty. You just want to sit here and pour this bullshit out, and I ain't got time for it.
Yeah.
I ain't got time for it. So definitely. So look, I got this 6'2" and this 6-speed sitting on the side of my house. So I'm about to go check it out.
What you gonna put that in?
That Chevelle.
Oh, you gonna put it in the Chevelle?
Oh yeah.
So you're not doing the Sniper?
Nah, because I was going with the Sniper, right? And this fell into my lap.
Oh.
For like 3 and some change.
Damn.
Right. I was like, I had to get it.
It's got what trannions on it?
The new 6-speed, what is it, 4L80?
Oh, is it 4L80?
Yeah, it's 4L8, somewhere in there. I got to cut my tunnel a little bit because it's a little bit bigger.
Yeah. Because the 4L80, they're bigger, so you got your trans tunnel. You're gonna have to
open it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, you're gonna have to let me know how that plays out. We're gonna have to talk about that on my car channel.
Yeah. So I got to go outside and check this thing out. But yeah, we definitely stay in touch.
All right, man. Thank you for coming on, man.
Oh man, it's nothing to a boss.
All right, brother.
All right, love you, man.
Love you too, bro.
Late.
Hello, my name is Big Kirk 916, and I'm with the Wash Your Ass Committee, and I'm traveling across America helping people wash their ass and get their booty holes clean. And I have with me here today Wash Your Ass soap, and this one in particular is Butt Naked Scrub, but I also have Festival, Oatmeal Milk and Honey, Jamaican Me Crazy, Monkey Farts, and all these scents smell very good. They will help cleanse your body of funk and also make you feel better about yourself. So if you can go to bigkirk916.com, you can pick you up a bar. And my goal is to help America combat funk. Go to the Herc store at bigkirk916.com and pick you up a bar of soap so you can wash that ass, or pick you up some Never Settle for Average merch or some of the Muscleup Car Lifestyle merch. We have hats, Never Settle for Average, got the Muscleup t-shirts. We also have the Never Settle for Average tank tops. Got the Muscleup Car Lifestyle hoodies. Got the beanie caps. Hey man, represent. And I know you guys aren't average, so pick you up some swag, and step your game up. Hello, I'm Big Herc 916. Contact me for life coaching and motivational speaking.